Divine manifestation of God before Bijoy Krishna Goswami. One midnight when he was in deep meditation, he heard a thump on the entrance door. He came back to external sense and opened the door. He found 3 persons with luminous aura around them. An old person in white robe and white long hair with long beards introduced himself as Advaityacharya, his 10th forefather, and other 2 as Mahaprabhu Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Prabhu Nityananda respectively. Bijoy Krishna hurriedly took them inside and gave them mat asan to sit on and prostrated at their feet. Advaityacharya said, "Bijoy, you take a bath. Mahaprabhu appeared here to initiate you." Bijoy hurriedly took bath, wore fresh clothes and came back as if in a hypnotic state. The room was flooded with celestial light. Mahaprabhu gave him a mantra, name of God, to repeat constantly. Bijoy prostrated at the feet of Mahaprabhu and fainted. In the dawn he came back to external sense to find himself on a prostrated state on the ground. He remembered all the sequences of the dream. He took it to be a dream. Then he found that the 3 mats were there and he wore different clothes. He ran towards the well to find wet clothes on the floor. Mother Yogmaya was by that time near the well. He narrated the whole sequence to her. Mother Yogmaya replied that she often had the good luck to see Advaityacharya in the said robe when they stayed at Shantipur. She inquired, "Didn't you see him earlier?" Bijoy replied that he had turned into a monotheist and did not believe in manifest forms, that was why his forefather did not appear before him. The incident that changed the direction of his life. His firm footing on monotheism took a somersault as the incident, reinforced by evidence, could not be disregarded. Henceforth his ancestral deity Shyam Sundar Krishna also started playing. One evening when he was meditating on Brahma, the formless attribute of God, Shyam Sundar, God Sri Krishna, appeared before him and asked to adorn him with gold ornaments. Bijoy replied, "I do not believe in manifest form." Shyam Sundar said, "Well, you need not believe in my manifest form, but where is the harm in making ornaments for me?" Bijoy again said, "I neither possess gold nor rich enough to procure." Shyam Sundar dwelt on like an insistent child and Bijoy negated time and again. Ultimately Shyam gave the clue that his aunt had gold coins in her custody and specified the spot where the coins were hidden. Now Bijoy Krishna became curious to verify the clue given by Shyam Sundar. He went to Shantipur and asked his aunt that Shyam wanted ornaments from her. Aunt ridiculed Bijoy and said, "Oh, Shyam did not get a better person than a non-believer like you to convey it to me." Now Bijoy declared the secret place where the aunt kept the gold coins as indicated by Shyam. The aunt was taken aback and started weeping. She now believed, agreed to make the ornaments for Shyam. Bijoy came back to Calcutta. After some days Shyam appeared again in jovial mood and said, "Bijoy, come to Shantipur and see how beautiful I look in new ornaments." Bijoy again protested that he does not believe in dualism, but Shyam insisted again and said, "You need not believe in me as God's manifest, but what is the harm in appreciating the ornamental outfit?" Shyam disappeared. Bijoy tried to concentrate on the blank, but every time Shyam appeared instead. Ultimately he started for Shantipur, but the last train had departed. He went to Ranaghat station by train and traversed on foot the rest of the distance to reach Shantipur at dead-end night. He wanted to see Shyam Sundar. This time nobody objected and opened the temple door. Bijoy saw his one-time playmate Shyam Sundar smiling at him in new ornaments. The monotheist's heart melted. In tears he said, "If you had this in mind, then why did you turn me astray?" Shyam Sundar replied, "Well, that's what I wished. Nothing is wasted. Don't you know how it glitters when an old ornament is remodeled?" Saying so, Shyam Sundar disappeared in the stone idol. Bijoy Krishna went into rapture. The next day he came back to Calcutta to resume his duty. Gosaiji's returned to devotional path and retiring from Brahma Samaj. He was conducting a mass prayer. While he was quoting from Upanishad, suddenly Advaitacharya appeared and said, "Your work in Brahmo Samaj is over, now take shelter under Mahaprabhu. Leave Brahmonyan, a path of pure knowledge, and utter Krishna Nam. Repeat the name of Krishna, the incarnation of God, to return back to the devotional paths." Bijoy Krishna fell unconscious and remained in trance for a long time. The mass gathering waited spellbound till he recovered and resumed his speech. But Bijoy Krishna came down the pulpit and said that he can no more conduct the prayer in the line of pure monotheism, absolute. Every time I speak of only the absolute Brahma, his manifest forms, gods, goddesses, appear before me. I now believe that Brahma, the formless, attributeless God, and manifest gods both are true. Monotheism and duality both are true. Only difference is that Brahma is the absolute truth and his manifestation is a transient truth. Bijoy Krishna from his childhood was fond of going to saints and religious persons. He did not stop this habit even after holding the high post of Acharya, preacher in Brahmo Samaj. He had introduced prayer songs and loud chanting of God's name, Nam Kirtan, along with drum and accompanying instruments. He had to face stiff resistance who thought it is disturbing the Soma environment of meditation, but ultimately was able to prove the merits, i.e. the ecstasy of devotion and love that could be aroused among thousands so easily by chanting was not to be achieved through deliverance and lecture. One day an unknown saint on request attended the prayer conducted by revered Bijoy Krishna. At the end, Bijoy met him and asked as to how the occult visions and tranquil state of mind could be made to stay longer. The saint replied, "Ask your Guru, Godhead. He is the best person to reply." Gosaiji. Quest for finding his Sadguru. Bijoy Krishna said that he did not believe in the need of a Godhead. We learn from all spiritually advanced persons through their discourses. The saint was shocked to know that. He affirmed that no spiritual advancement was possible without coming in direct contact with a Sadguru. Bijoy Krishna prayed to him to be his Guru, but the saint said that every person, no matter however enlightened, cannot be a Sadguru unless authorized by God and his representative Godhead. The saint said that his Guru would appear before him when the time is right for him. This revelation was another great jolt for Bijoy Krishna. He till this time knew of the sterile Kulguru cult in which he himself was born. Bijoy Krishna took leave for some time and started roaming in search of Sadguru. Whenever he saw a revered saint, he fell at his feet and requested him for his initiation, Diksha. Everybody said the same thing. Your Sadguru is waiting for you. Bijoy Krishna travelled all along the foothills of Himalayas, remote forests, river coasts of Ganges, Narmada. He joined the sittings of Remates, Baul, Kabir, Lamas, Yogis, Tantric, Aghori cults in search of Guru. Sometimes he had to flee to see the ghastly practices. He went to Kashi and met Trailanga Swami, the roaming Shiva, as he was called. Swamiji gave him mantra on the insistence of Lord Shiva, which Bijoy took unwillingly. Unwillingly because he saw Swamiji sprinkling his own urine on the goddess Kali, saying, "Ganga, Ganga." Although the urine and revered Ganga water was same for Trailanga Swami, but it was not acceptable to Bijoy, who was born and brought up in a sanctified environment. Gosaiji, finding his Sadguru, then he went to Gaya Hills and stayed at the foot of Akash Ganga Hill in the ashram of a remote Saint Raghuvardas Baba. One morning a boy informed that a powerful saint is seen on the hilltop. Bijoy Krishna climbed up the hill, where he found his long-cherished Sadguru, revered Brahmananda Paramhamsa. With a desire to meet the Mahatma, he reached the spot with his heart filled with divine reverence and bliss. On being directed by that Mahatma, he returned after a while. Second day he went to the Mahatma in the morning with an eager heart, fell at his feet and started crying. Then the Mahatma drew Bijoy Krishna upon his lap and introduced himself, saying, "I have come down from the Manas Sarovar of the Himalayas to initiate you." Bijoy Krishna then asked him, "Manas Sarovar is very far from here. How could you reach this place?" Then the Mahatma explained, "This is not a difficult task for the yogis. The 5 elements of the material body are mixed with the 5 elements of the earth, and it is possible only with the help of the conscious soul to travel to any place and to recreate the material body." After saying all these, he gave Diksha to Bijoy Krishna with the power impregnated mantra. Just on hearing the mantra, Bijoy Krishna's body manifested the 8 pious signs. Soon after prostrating to his Gurudev, the disciple fainted. On regaining consciousness, he saw that his Gurudev had disappeared. Somehow he came down to the ashram of Raghuvardas Ji and went into a state of trance. During this period, Raghuvardas Babaji took care of his body and protected it. Thus he remained in a state of trance for 11 days at a stretch. The atmosphere at Akashganga Hill was very pleasant. Bijoy Krishna engaged himself in intense spiritual practice and chanting of Nam. Sometimes his Gurudev appeared before him in person and gave him necessary instructions. While introducing his Gurudev, Bijoy Krishna has said, "The name of my Gurudev is Swami Brahmananda Paramhamsa Ji. He is a Brahmin from the Punjab and was a follower of Nanak earlier. Later he had done spiritual practice according to the Vedas. Still later he achieved divine love after receiving Diksha and grace from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Mahatma's body is very old. After about 3 or 4 months, under instructions from his Gurudev, Bijoy Krishna went to Kashi and met the famous ascetic Swami Harihirananda Saraswati Ji for taking sannyas. Since he had discarded the sacred thread during his tenure in the fold of Brahmo Samaj, he was made to do penance before being given sannyas by Swamiji. Bijoy Krishna's new name after sannyas was Swami Achyutananda Saraswati. But he is better known by his pre-monastic name Shri Shri Bijoy Krishna Goswami. Following his sannyas, he spent quite some time at the Akashganga Hill in spiritual practice. Swami Brahmananda Ji showered him with special grace after his Diksha. He used to appear before his disciple often and give him due assistance for progressing in the spiritual path. By the grace of his Gurudev, the disciple started experiencing the most rare stages of spirituality mentioned in the scriptures. One day Gurudev appeared before him and said, "Dear child, never renounce the family life. Like the great saints of yore, apply your life of renunciation for the welfare of living beings. You will still have to remain in the Brahmo Samaj for some more time to come. In due time the bondage of the Brahmo Samaj will tear off automatically. As instructed by his Gurudev, Vijay Krishna returned to the Brahmo Samaj in Kolkata. He went to meet Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa Dev at Dakshineshwar. Just on seeing him, Sri Ramakrishna Dev said, "Vijay, have you booked your shelter?" See, two ascetics in the course of traveling came to a town. One of them was looking at the market, buildings, shops with wonder. At this time he met the other ascetic who asked him, "You are looking at things in wonder. Where are your belongings?" The first one replied, "I have fixed my shelter, kept my luggage there, locked it, and am now going about seeing the various colors of the town. That is why I am asking you, have you fixed your shelter?" Looking at Master etc. See, so far Vijay's fountain had remained plugged, now it has opened.